better now?
That's way better. Cool.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for getting us on the agenda so last minute. Let me share my screen real quick. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for your time tonight. I would normally, at this point, let Michaela give her amazing intro about why she originally, with a bunch of other folks, including Paula, saw the need for the vision plan and applied to community builders for funding and capacity assistance. But she's actually currently presenting to the Navarrete Town Board, so I will have to give you all the rundown. I am excited to announce that we are releasing the draft West End Vision Plan for our partner review window. And so I want to come to you all and give you an update on kind of where we are and what's in the document and what you can expect going forward. So I will start with a little bit of the why behind the Vision Project, and then we'll move into the how and what came out of it, which is that draft Vision Plan. The shortest version of the story is that local leaders in Weed City didn't want to be making decisions for the community without the community, which is where the idea for this project came from. It's always been a very locally led process. So many of you in that room have worked on it with us, which is amazing. Thank you. And the community really came up with the ideas that are in this plan, and we community builders have been here to provide time and tools to help implement those ideas. So the West End will certainly always have challenges and questions to grapple with, whether that's the economy, growth, or outside pressures. But the way we see it, the real measure of success comes from how you choose to respond. And this community has chosen to respond by being proactive instead of reactive to those challenges. So this project and the resulting plan really strengthens the region's ability to act with purpose, to work more collaboratively, to make choices in alignment with your values, to pursue funding, respond to challenges, and make progress on very tangible things like access to housing, jobs, and healthcare. So to achieve this, we've undertaken a very intentional process that has included these steps. Last fall and winter, we worked to identify the community's shared values. This spring, the community dug into key data points and visioning. Over the summer, we created draft goals and strategies, and then from there asked, did we get these right, and how are we going to get all that done? And the answer to that question came through action planning this fall. Another important part of the how is the amazing teams we've worked with. We've had an ambassador team of local leaders and volunteers connecting the process to the community, project working group with representatives from all three of the towns, WeedC, and the chambers, and those folks are managing kind of the day-to-day work. And then us at Community Builders, again, serving as your partners. We see this as a partnership. We aren't consultants. We don't come in here to tell you how to do things. We work shoulder to shoulder to really try and find good solutions for the challenges that the West End is facing. And then the last shout out here is 5 newer groups to the process that have helped us move from vision to action. These action groups were created to focus on what the community identified as the 5 priority topic areas. And they brought together local residents, leaders, and stakeholders to really dig into the questions around trade-offs, resources, and roles and responsibilities. And many folks from your board have been on these groups too, so it's really been a good team effort. All right, and then the real key to the how for this process has been community. Engagement has really been central to every single phase. We've engaged over 700 residents since last September over the course of 120 meetings and with the help of more than 50 local volunteers. We've had really kind of small, intimate group conversations, large community workshops, everything in between. And as we've mentioned before, we've been able to connect with a really wide variety of folks, including young people, seniors, small business owners, families, and key local industry people from the mining and the ag sectors. And just really grateful for everyone who's participated so far. This slide has some demographics from the values phase. We've tracked demographics phase over phase. So this one's fairly representative of who's been involved. We have a lot of really good photos too, more than can fit on as many slides as you would like to see, but just wanted to share a few of those. So that's the why and the how. Now I want to talk about kind of this new piece, what's come out of all that work, which is the draft vision plan. The vision plan is organized into 5 main sections. The first 4 make up the plan itself, and the 5th, the action plan, is a companion spreadsheet that's more easily editable and helps track next steps. So these sections include background and process, that's kind of the how and the why that the communities came together, guidance on how to use the plan, and a summary of the engagement. Values and vision, which includes the 5 shared community values and the 8 long-term goals that define what kind of future the West End wants to see. The strategies, which are really the core of the plan, they're organized by those 8 goals, and it turns them into direction and practical ideas for action. And then implementation, which includes tools, partners, funding sources, and ways to measure progress and keep the plan more relevant. And then last, the action plan, like I mentioned, which is really more of like a working tool to track things like timing, partners, and progress. So before I dive into each of these, I just wanted to kind of show how all those pieces connect. The values are the first step, they're the roof of the whole operation. Then you have the vision, which is what success looks like, and the outcome of which is a set of 8 goals. Then the strategies, which lay out how to achieve those goals, and finally the actions, which are the concrete steps to make it all happen. So the values phase was one of the longest and really the most important parts of the process. More than 600 people collaborated on these values. We worked really hard to make sure they were right. They went through a lot of rounds of review. And we really see them as like part of the plan. They reflect what people care about most in the West End and what makes it unique. And what we really see as the function of these values is as issues become complex or divisive, shared values can really offer kind of that steady point of agreement for working through trade-offs. So the West End's values include things like small town neighborliness and solidarity, love for rural living, connection to the land, the opportunity to build a good life, and a sense of self-reliance and resourcefulness. You can read them in all of their great text in the plan itself. And then from those values came a shared vision, which is a really powerful tool for a community to have. It helps people expand their thinking about what's possible for their community. It creates a sense of connection and purpose, and it gives a common direction for decision making. And the West End's vision for the future is really a vital and viable community with access to healthcare, support and services, a place with safe quality housing options at prices that work for local incomes, a strong regional economy with a variety of thriving businesses, industries, and workforce, managed growth that doesn't compromise rural character, a balanced and locally led use of land and resources, a community with a variety of educational pathways for success, safe, welcoming, and vibrant places, and strong civic health, dialogue, trust, and collaboration. So to reach those goals, the plan identifies about 45 strategies. These include 15 pre-specific policy recommendations for the towns, 5 collaborative structures, including housing committee, a public lands working group, and a local leadership group, and 16 potential projects or tools. And because we know local time and capacity and funding are all super limited, not everything in the plan can or should happen right away. There's a number of filters about kind of what's a community priority to help focus your initial efforts. And I'll hit these in a little bit more detail, but it's quick wins, those smaller near-term steps, big moves, the larger, longer-term efforts, and the 5 community priority areas that folks kind of narrowed down and voted on a couple of different times, and you can see those here. All right, quick wins. Quick wins are about getting traction early, building momentum. They're achievable actions that show visible progress and strengthen collaboration. So those wins are create a team of town and county leaders to meet regularly and stay aligned across jurisdictions. To formalize via an IGA how towns and counties coordinate on development approvals, which will help ensure more consistent, locally guided decisions. Compiling local healthcare, housing, youth, and senior resources into one easy-to-access directory. Centralizing small business resources so local entrepreneurs know what's available. And growing WEETS's apprenticeship program to connect youth and local employers to more career paths. These are all fairly low-cost, high-impact actions that can get started pretty much right away. And then the big moves are the larger transformative efforts that will take more investment, but represent some of what we see as the most impactful opportunities. And when I say we, I mean project team. They have the potential to really redefine the region's trajectory and create that lasting positive change. And I'm going to provide a little bit more detail on a couple of these in particular. So first and foremost is to strengthen WEETS's staffing and funding so it can serve as a backbone for regional coordination and implementation. It's one of the only organizations that spans all of the West End jurisdictions, and WEETS is really well positioned to lead a lot of the plan strategies. It's a trusted entity, has a lot of experience pursuing funding. And Michaela may not always want to be the one to say this, but from an outside perspective, strengthening WEETS's capacity is really essential for better regional outcomes. And one of the methods that we recommended is an MOU from all the towns and the counties that would provide more stable baseline funding for the organization so that they can spend less time fundraising and more time implementing. Another really important step, as I know you all know, is investing in reliable, efficient utilities to improve both residents' daily lives and unlock opportunities for housing and business growth. And a lot of economic development also can't proceed without updated infrastructure. Next, to support the Basin Clinic's effort to become a critical access hospital, limited access to emergency and long-term care are, as we've heard, some of the biggest challenges facing West End residents and especially seniors. Healthcare access also plays a key role in supporting economic development and community stability. The UMC is somewhat limited in how it can expand, so the Basin Clinic's efforts to become a critical access center would fill that major gap that currently forces a lot of residents to travel or even relocate for those essential services. So not only improve health access, but it also create a lot of good jobs. All right, creating a vacant housing program. This initiative would address the housing shortage by putting vacant and dilapidated housing back into productive use, which makes better use of existing infrastructure and also improves the community's appearance and safety. And a key step here would be to establish a nonprofit West End housing entity with the capacity to acquire and rehabilitate vacant properties. And finally, build a coordinated regional working group to engage with federal and state land agencies so that local needs and priorities are better reflected in land management decisions. So that's the high-level summary of what's in the document. There's a lot more to dig into, but I will let you all do that on your own time. As local leaders, you play a really important role in shaping what comes next. I'll be sharing out the draft plan with you all after this meeting, and there's a few key sections to review especially closely. I mean, we want you to look at the whole thing, but knowing how long it is, if you have to focus your time, we would say the how to use this plan section, goal 8, which is all about civic health and collaboration, and then the framework for action, which serves as additional kind of guidance for local leaders on how to use the plan and how it can support your work. So as, again, elected officials, the plan really aims to provide a community-backed decision-making framework for you all that will create more predictability and transparency in development and investment decisions, and it can help ensure alignment with community goals and values as well. So the final ask that we'll have, that we'll revisit with you in January after you've had the chance to review, after the community has had the chance to review, and then after we release the final draft, is adoption of the plan across all 5 jurisdictions, so the 3 towns and the 2 counties, to help create that regional alignment and really formalize the plan. So in order to ask that of you, we want to make sure that you feel really, really good about what's in this document. So we also have kind of some questions and some framing for your review. And really, I just ask, please dig into it, beat it up, tell us how to make it better. This tool is as good as we make it together as a collaboration. So really looking forward to your feedback. All right, I'll run through some quick next steps and then we can turn it over for questions and the rest of your meeting. Like I mentioned, partner review will run through December 1st, and then we will update the plan. And then community review will be in December with opportunities for online and in-person feedback. And then we'll make our final round of updates, and the final plan and adoption will come in January. Right, any questions? I know a lot of folks are super familiar with this, but a lot of great work has kind of all culminated here this last month, so I'd love to talk through anything that folks are wondering about.
No, I'll save my comments for when I read through it.
I think we're gonna read first. It sounds like reading first, and then we'll have comments and questions probably.
Timeline sounds reasonable, so.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'd be happy to come back in December or January to discuss your questions in more detail, or we can also meet one-on-one to do that. There's a lot of different ways you can provide your feedback, but we'd be happy to have that broader discussion in the public forum as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate your time tonight.
Good. All right, so we'll move on to public comment. Ms. Darla, you're the one who has an X by your name.
Yeah. Usually there's all kinds of people on.
Well, there's people on there, but you're the only one so far.
Okay. So after reviewing the contract thoroughly and interpreting it to the most literal definition possible, we find there to be some concerning language in the contract that could negatively impact not only our ability to do business, but the town's ability as well. Our concerns are laid out in more detail in the letter that we sent out today. And we are asking that the town board and NNTC's board sit down, have a meeting, discuss our concerns and changes that we feel need to be done.
Okay. I do know that your letter was disseminated to all the board members today. I read it myself. Joseph is out of the country at the moment, so I think we're going to need a few minutes to coordinate maybe a date. Do you guys have some dates in mind already, or?
If you could give me some of your dates that are
Okay.
available, then we'll go back and look at our dates and see what,
Okay.
see what we can come up with.
Could we get back with you on that?
Yeah,
Once
we
everybody's
should.
had a chance to digest it and have, if they have any comments, cause I didn't see anybody had commented back today, so
Okay.
if that would be
Yeah,
alright.
and, we invite you to come by and we can have the meeting at our place or whatever, but
Yeah.
if you can send us a few dates, then we'll make something work, okay?
Right, we will do
Okay, you got my email address? Okay,
that. Know where you're at.
okay.
Thank you. Is anyone else that signed in tonight, were you wanting to speak and maybe just didn't X the box? Cause you certainly can. No, everybody's good? Okay.
I'm on the agenda, so.
Yes, you are. Alright, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda unless there's anything that you'd like to hold out for further discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Also good.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Penny?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
I vote yes. Elaine?
Yes.
Motion carried. Jessica or the board, anything that needs to be added to the agenda that you're aware of? No new items? Alright. First, administrative board business is an MOA for control of confidential data, Colorado Department of Revenue. And I'm assuming Miss Jessica is asking for authorization for the board for my signature as well as hers.
Yes.
That's what you're asking for?
Yes.
So you need a motion.
Trying to read it.
Do you wanna look at the document before you guys?
Is it changed from previous?
Mm-mm.
Just the names have changed.
Correct.
Elaine, did you wanna see it? Okay. Do we have a motion?
You make it.
I can't spit stuff out.
Oh.
I make a motion to approve the MOA for control of confidential data signed by Mayor Brown and Town Manager Jessica Davis.
I've got a motion and a second to approve signatures for the MOA for control of confidential data, Colorado Department of Revenue for Mayor Brown and Jessica Davis, Town Manager. Elaine?
Yes.
I vote yes. Tim?
Yes.
Penny?
Yes.
Motion carried. Let's see. Revisit Third Avenue access to resolve issues there. I think Tim had asked for that to be put back on for some further discussion.
Yeah, basically, I think we need to just put this thing to bed and get the ditchwater water rights access across Third Avenue solidified as being something that will not be destroyed by the use of Third Avenue as a street, and take care of all the issues that are there, and so that Third Avenue can be opened up if we need to and when we need to. And the time to do it is now when the ditch is not running, otherwise it's gonna be a hassle to try and do it when the ditch is running, because the water will be in use. So it's a matter of getting elevations on the pipes across Third Avenue. That's Tomlinson and why do I always forget Steve or
Steve or
last name?
Stuber.
Steve, yeah. Theirs, and then deciding how to convey the water under the roadway so that it can be done without interrupting their service and without interrupting the service of Third Avenue.
And if I recall, the suggestion from the ditch board was just some sort of a steel pipe that was,
We used to do that all the time in mining if we wanted to run a water line across the roadway, you put it in a steel pipe to armor the water line so it wouldn't be smashed by road use. So we can look at something like that. And we can also look at elevations in general and see if there's a way to bury it deeper than it is.
No, I think at the ditch board meeting, they said that wasn't a viable solution over there, but we could probably have them come look again.
Well, yeah, it's
To
gonna
be
be
sure.
cool. It's gonna have to have everybody that's got a water right. They're gonna have to be there, and we're gonna have to have the public works there, and I have no problem being there if that's useful.
It seems like it'd be a good idea to form that meeting first. I mean, I think, what do you think?
Yeah.
Penny and Lean, are you?
Yeah,
good
that
with-
sounds good. I agree.
So Jessica, do you mind trying to get a meeting with all of the interested parties there? And if Tim wants to sit on that, I would say you should.
That's fine, yeah.
So it'd be ditch property owners and the town.
Well, it's two,
Unless it's fourth rifle season. I'm not gonna be there.
I think it's two ditch users up there. It goes, Mark Tomlinson's line comes
Okay.
out there, and then Devin Fritz's line. Those are the ones that I remember being
It's the only
mentioned.
two I know of.
But we probably need to have Dean from the CC Ditch come up and
Okay.
meet with you guys on that, so. Okay. The next one is, again, my property issue that I have brought before the board several times. Would you guys like me to go to the podium and talk to you about it?
Do you have an update?
I have an update in the fact that I would like to see this accomplished at some point sooner than later. I have visited with Darla on the phone. I don't know what solution you want. I just need my property stuff to be legal, and it's not the way it is, and so I'm having an issue with that. You know me, I want it to be the correct way. And even the way, I just, today before I came to the meeting, I went on to Montrose GIS, and it still is not correct from all of this.
Right, and it won't be until we.
Well, you guys rescinded it though, and it wasn't corrected back to even the original. Right now, it just looks like I have more property than I was supposed to have. And
So did you?
I just wonder how
You
long.
had talked about meeting with Darla, I guess she left.
No, she's right there.
I'm
Here. She's right there.
So you talked about
Yes,
meeting with
you are.
Darla and Ms. Painter,
Mhm.
did that happen? Did you
No,
guys
we
actually
haven't.
discuss this independently?
We haven't come
We
all
talked
together.
about it and we want to, schedules have been a little bit the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So I agree, we should try to get something resolved sooner than later, so, I think after this weekend, maybe things might settle down a little bit for us, so maybe we could hit you up then, Paula?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just unclear about how the resolution is gonna come from the property owners like this. I mean, I think that we all have chatted about narrowing Birch Street, which would definitely help them. It definitely would help us. I think Shelley's less concerned about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But as far as our frontage to Ash Street on all three of the property owners, it's a very different situation. So that's why I think I asked to have it put back on here again, is what my resolution looks like may not be what Joseph's looks like or Miss Painter's look like.
I agree, you guys can't resolve the issue.
I know that's, so what do you want us to come back to you with, is what
I just like to know that you're not gonna be at each other's throats and the town's throat over this thing, so.
So we'd really need to do a whole new, survey, cause we
Not that
talked,
I know of, you should have the road. As far as I understand, you have a fairly recent survey, and it was done by Dick Odom.
Mhm.
So, I don't think I haven't heard anybody question the accuracy of his surveys, so.
Okay, and we were gonna try to get a copy of it, but San Miguel Power can't copy it, so I need to take it to Junction and get a copy of it, so you guys can have a copy.
Yeah, there's an outfit my brother uses that he just sends them the file, and then, of course, you don't have it on.
I don't
file,
have
you
it,
scanned. You don't have it scanned.
No, so is that, tell you how old it is, I don't have it digital.
Right.
I actually used a place for some of our plans that will digitize what you have too. It was in Junction. It was very inexpensive. I don't
Okay.
know the name of the
Could
place.
you send that to me?
I'll have
when
to
you-
find it.
when
but
you
yes,
have a
I would
chance?
share it with you. I think my question tonight was more of what you want from us as the property owners. I mean, what are we supposed to resolve when we come together? We're not at each other's throat.
We need the survey. The town needs a survey, an accurate survey, and you have one. And Shelley has one, as far as I know, that was finished.
I
So-
assume so, yeah.
So then we need to look up how all that hits the ground and what it looks like, and what we can do about the right of way and the property boundaries. Because yes, it's probably gonna be different for each property. I don't see how it's not gonna be, because the road
Well,
is
because the
not,
ash goes like
Yeah,
this, so
it's
I
not-
mean,
it's
like
not
no
a,
way.
it's not a straight shot, so to speak. If it was, we wouldn't be doing this.
And this, can we talk, while we're talking ash, can we talk the birch part of it as well?
Yeah, it's gonna have to, all that's gonna have to be resolved. The shift is gonna have to involve birch.
So really what you want from us is you
Mainly
want Darla's
Mm-hmm.
survey, and you want us to come and not be beating each other up.
Darn. I'll be staying at home every night now.
I know.
Not time.
As far as I've known since I've lived there, there's not been any fisticuffs on Ash Street at all, so.
Me either.
Or birch. Yeah, or birch for that
There's
matter.
always a new beginning. Anyway.
Just trying to start something here.
No.
Alright, so that's the clarification, I guess, which is still not super clear, but we will visit, and Darla will have her survey, and we'll go from there.
It's gonna be, and essentially it's probably gonna be almost certainly a case-by-case basis. But
That's what I think
if we
too.
get all the information in, then we can sit down and just do this
Mhm.
and get it done for all 3 property owners, and it's done. So.
Alright,
Thank
thank
you.
you, yeah, thank you, I'm glad you were here. Alright, so did we have on here, I may have missed it, let me look. I know we're doing these next, but are we doing the animal control and, public works? Or
Well,
we're
we
gonna do
weren't
that
clear,
later?
yeah, and so I didn't know if that's why you
I
guys.
mean, we can talk about it after
Mhm.
this too,
Yep.
okay, that's what I was just wanting to make sure. Alright, so the next item is, trustee appointments to the board, we have 2 vacancies. And the first one was vacated by trustee Barnes, and I think he's got a couple years left on his, do you know,
It'd be the same as me and Tim.
whatever the end of your
2
term
years.
is?
Melissa, when I consulted with her
Mhm.
on Monday, she said that, because this position would step in the term, that everybody would be, with the exception of them 2, would be up for election anyway.
Oh, okay, so whoever we appoint right now is still gonna have to run for the
Yes.
next election, okay, alright. Alright, well, we'll still do this one at a time, I think. We've interviewed 3 different candidates. And so, would the board have a motion to fill the first seat?
I mean, make a motion to fill the first position vacated by Scott Barnes
With,
with Jesse Sutherland.
okay, I have a motion and a second to fill the first trustee position vacated with candidate Jesse Sutherland. Celine,
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Tim?
Yes.
Penny?
Yes.
Okay, and then the second position?
I'll make a motion to fill the second position vacated by David Johnson with Wayne Ament.
I'll second. Okay, I have a motion and a second to fill the second vacated position with candidate Wayne Ament. Penny? Yes. Tim?
Yes.
Yes, I vote yes.
Yes.
Celine? Okay, welcome to the board.
That was close.
Did you feel nervous?
Made you nervous?
Alright, the next item on here, I'm gonna let Jessica fill in where I don't know, but she had reached out to me, the town's,
If I may.
yes, you may,
So when do we do the swearing in and whatnot?
the next
Next
meeting,
meeting?
December.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's okay.
given your oath of office at the December meeting. What's the number? What's the date? Is it
December 10th.
10? Thank you. All right. I'm sorry. Was there anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Jessica contacted me and said that the town staff would like to do a float for the Parade of Lights. And initially she had mentioned that they'd use their own personal truck and their own personal trailer and all this. And so I had just mentioned to her that in the past, that the town's truck and trailer was allowed to be used for this situation, but we wanted the board's input on that, to make sure that I didn't,
Do they wanna use a flatbed, or do they wanna use, 'cause all we have is a trailer, right?
I think we would still use Kobe's personal trailer just because of the size of it, and
Okay.
but we would like to use the town of Nucla's pickup after talking to Paul, because then people know who's entering a float into the parade.
And I told them that they would use the shop, the town shop, to build it and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanna make sure you guys were all good with that. I think it's a nice thing that the staff wants to get together and participate, so.
I volunteer just to help since he's not here.
That's second, yeah. Was there any other questions though besides that?
No, and
Okay.
anybody's welcome to join if they'd like, and we're kind of trying to keep it simple.
What's the theme this year?
Christmas past.
You have a generator and everything?
We've got a generator, and then we have a plan in the works.
Okay.
Not exactly.
So maybe give the board a heads up if
Yep.
you guys have a build night, and if anybody
Yep.
wants to join in,
Okay.
feel free.
We'll do. We'll keep you in the loop.
Or you can tell us the wrong night and then you won't have us there. I mean, whatever you want.
The library wants to help too, so.
Okay, very good, thanks. All right, old business, the first one is the Hoof and Paw donation, so, hi Tanya. Have any new info for us?
Well, we're still looking towards, it's close to 15,000 for the, whole thing to be done, and we have raised 5,000.
Okay.
I do not know yet, I've submitted the material list to the Alpine Lumber, or, I guess it's not Alpine Lumber anymore, but,
They changed it?
yeah.
It was put
Yeah.
out by somebody.
Anyway, so I have submitted the material list to them. I hope that they would be able to get me a list by tonight. I mentioned that and they did not, so it's like, I don't know if they're doing half of it, all of it. I don't know yet,
Still waiting, okay.
but there's still, labor charges that's, a fair amount, but,
Okay.
Do you have a contractor lined out?
yes. Yeah, so anyway, I have been pleased with the 5,000 that we've raised,
Yeah, that's good.
and
So have you already talked to Dad Rita?
about what they're gonna contribute.
If and what they might contribute?
Since they put in the time and effort into the
Drain.
drain and got that going, I haven't asked for that, so I'm very grateful that they fixed the drain, cause it was going uphill slightly. And that's why we were having so much trouble and we couldn't find it. They've dug for it, trying to find it going downhill. And they couldn't, so they finally dug right by the building. I was like, oh, there's the pipe. And then they went out just a little bit further. Oh no, it goes uphill instead of down. So anyway, I'm grateful that they fixed that and we can just use as much water that the well will produce. But
So I may have asked you this last time, but are you planning this project for next year, I'm assuming? Or just,
not as soon
or
as somebody,
whenever, okay.
yeah, because it's been well over a year since we tried to get it going and it's not improving.
Mm-hmm.
The situation isn't improving.
So I think, we need to look at what we have left in our 2025 budget before we make a decision. This is, like I said last time, the end of this year's
Right, yeah,
budget and
I
starting of the
understand.
next, so I think that's what we really have to look at there. Any other grant opportunities?
I have not asked for grants, because that's a, that'd be a long term, like 6 months from now before we can.
I'll ask you a tough question, because I sat in on some grant interviews the other day and I thought this was a good one. So if we're not able to fill the gap of the entire amount that you have left here, will you still be able to do the project? What's your
We've
contingency
got-
plan?
We've got a little bit that we can put towards it too, so, but besides what we've raised, but, you know, not,
Yeah.
not much, so.
Okay. I just wanna know if it's still gonna happen, you know, if we're not able to give the whole
Right.
amount that's
Right.
due.
Right.
Once you find out about the materials and all
Right.
that stuff, so.
I mean, we're gonna be pushing, and, you know, I'm gonna ask Second Chance to maybe do more than, they offered 1,000, so I'm gonna see if they'll maybe do a little bit more than that, so.
Mhm.
Do you plan on having more fundraisers that you'll be trying to make more money? I mean,
That takes more volunteers, and we don't have
I
that,
get
so.
it. I
Yeah.
get it. Just
I
curious.
haven't put effort into that for a fundraiser specifically for.
Yeah.
I know that, Timberline Ace they've raised, 2,000 for us for that, so that's part of that.
That's
Five,
under
five.
5,000.
Is that just a donation drop? I learned how you did the fundraising on your first 5,000, is it all of it that way, or?
Well, when I put the donation or the problem, when I put that out on the Facebook, the Venmo, accumulated about 2,000 for doing that,
Oh,
so.
nice. That's good, though. That's
Yeah.
really good. All right, so I think we need to have Jessica, they're working on budget stuff here, kind of shake out where that money would be left from, where it could come from. And then that way, the board has some informed information here on what's gonna be left at this 2025 budget, especially since you're looking for it for this as soon as possible sort of
It's,
situation.
Because it's now November, I have a
Yeah.
hunch that it's actually not gonna happen until January, but I would like it to be done in December, but as the way things are going, it's probably not gonna be until February or March, or I don't know, it just seems like it's just going on and
Yeah. Well, when
we're
you're trying to
closer, but.
piece together a bunch of money to get to that point, that's probably why it's taken longer too, so.
Did you look at the GoFundMe at all?
I've just had our Venmo and PayPal links out there, which the PayPal, for some reason, people are not using.
There's
kind of
a lot of
weird.
fraud on PayPal, people are getting away from it.
Yeah,
On GoFundMe, don't you have to give up a certain percentage?
yeah,
You do.
it's
I
the
don't like
same as,
GoFundMe for that.
The other ones,
it's same as Venmo and PayPal.
fee.
That's
Yeah,
why I
they
put a
charge.
mailing address for, if you wanna just send a check.
Yeah.
PayPal charges like what, it used to be about 4% or so.
And I could do, see if we, do another drive for it and say we've raised some money, but we need more.
Well, we will try to have some information for you sooner than later, and as you have updates, we appreciate the input, the updates on it, so we kinda know what we need to.
Yeah, as soon as I get any information from what the materials is gonna be, how
That'll-
much, that'll help too.
So the Second Chance thing was above and beyond the 5,000?
No,
or
that's
of the
part of,
5,000?
they've offered 1,000.
Okay, so you were thinking maybe if you get more than just.
I'm gonna see if they'll do more.
Mhm. Okay.
So,
Thank you, and good luck.
Yeah, it's. Project.
Thank you.
I'm gonna head out, so you guys have a good night.
You too, thank you. You get the financial request from MWR. Okay. I would suggest tabling that until we get the request. If you guys agree?
Yeah, we already tabled the next item too,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I didn't wanna hear about it,
I
All
know.
right.
fishing permits, right?
And I don't think I don't know if I didn't see a weekly report, did I miss that? Not sure. Was there?
I don't think so.
So we'll skip over that. Mustang Water Authority is gonna meet next Monday, right, Tim? I think that's right. And, Miranda is here representing the Chamber of Commerce this evening.
I'm not sure if everyone's seen the letter that was signed by our board president for a funding request for $5,000 from the town of Nucla. And I have a couple copies if you want to.
We received it on Monday, and so
Okay.
it didn't make the board packet.
Alright,
Yeah.
So it's
So we-
already on the agenda for you.
so we have a candidate.
Yeah.
I think there's 3, so if you wouldn't mind.
I don't need it. I don't need none.
So is this for
Oh,
next,
got you.
For 2026.
for next year then?
Right.
So I'm just here to answer any questions. With the letter essentially describes the chamber's needs, and I think the tangible needs are particularly staffing for the visitor center and maintenance for the visitor center, and that's what's kind of outlined in this letter.
So did you say you put it on the agenda for December? Okay.
And so I think I'm gonna confirm what we've donated in the past as a standard.
So for the prior 3 years, there's been a $5,000 donation. And then prior to that, 2022, there's $3,500. I would like to point out that the chamber, as well as other organizations, are facing a loss of funding potentially from lodging tax, from Natarita, maybe some county funding, so.
Do you guys have any questions for?
No, we're just gonna discuss this on the December meeting.
Well, it is on the agenda for the December meeting. Jessica confirmed, so.
Is that the 10th?
Yes, it is.
I'll plan on being back then.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Housing committee, there hasn't been a meeting for ages. Elaine, did you attend? What's that? Okay.
Work.
Yeah. I think they're not having any more meetings after whatever that last one was for a while anyway, so. Alright, so we'll go to staff and department reports and public works. I always miss, are they in there and I just didn't see them again?
Yeah, and I sent it in the body of the email this time too.
Oh, maybe that's why I did not see it then.
You can check and check.
It's probably right here, just hold on here, let me open that up and see. Uh-huh. Okay. Alright,
And then I just had a couple of updates to it
okay,
that I talked to today. Well, Gary Spee's tap was installed today, so we can mark that off the list. I spoke with Mike from Element Engineering and regarding USDA loans or grants. And with the government opening back up next week, they'll start sifting through those applications. And he will be in touch with an update as soon as he talks with somebody.
Yeah.
He just wants to remind us that the timeline can be anywhere from 3 weeks to a year.
so close.
The CDOT pay request that we've been inquiring about, I did talk to Bridget, and for some reason it got delayed in the middle of October, and so her boss has pushed it through up the chain for a speedy signature, so that we can hopefully get that closed in December 25th. December 10th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions regarding public works from the board? And we have a library report that was emailed separately today. Any questions regarding that or any additions, Jessica?
No.
Okay. And then, code enforcement and animal control. The board's aware we've interviewed 3 people, am I right on the number? So, you guys will have an opportunity to fill that tonight or continue taking the applications, that's up to y'all.
Who's the? So this last one was interviewed,
Yes.
when was that?
No, there's one in the folder that came in late, but I don't know what day it was received.
We interviewed last Monday, so it would have been the Thursday before, I think. I don't know what date that was.
This one came in then, you're saying?
We interviewed Dave Avery. Right.
No, that one came in
No.
real late.
This one was the one I was reading that came in since we interviewed
Oh.
last. Did you wanna look at it, or did you have a chance to?
I did not look at that close, because I assumed we'd be setting up interviews, so.
Was it after the date?
A week.
I don't need to interview anymore from the three that we've discussed, so, an interview, but that's up to you guys if you want to.
I don't care, my only input is that if we're going to touch base with Natarita and look at that joint position.
I'm more in favor of the, possible part-time hours unless we need more, as with the last candidate we spoke with.
Mm-hmm. That's what I kind of agree.
And that's kind of what we talked about at the interview as well. If it gets to a point where he has more than, the allotted hours. then
I have a question, if I'm allowed to ask.
Don't interrupt her, but yes, you can.
I didn't hear her.
Oh, sorry. So, if he gets to a point where he, needs to well, he can't do the hours, obviously, we would then maybe speak with Natarita about, you know, if they could share theirs. I don't know if that's an option for them, or it would be, but I think a lot can be done in a part-time position.
Because Brooke had had it down to less than 30 towards the end, once she.
Go ahead.
Nope,
Why?
I'm touting.
Well, then you missed your chance.
Are we going to share the animal control position with Natarita?
That's
That
what
was
we're
the-
doing.
that was
That's what
the
we're discussing.
discussion. That was the discussion after our first interviews,
I wasn't here.
so we were actually going to pursue that, and I guess now the discussion is not to pursue that, so.
Why is that?
We have another candidate that we interviewed that wants to work part-time, and I think, several of the board members felt like he was a strong candidate, so. That's my assumption, don't let me speak for the
That's
two
true,
of you.
I did, I was on board with it.
So what would be your decision then? Just to keep the meeting moving here?
To
Go
fill
ahead.
it, I'd make a motion to fill the position tonight. With
Okay.
a candidate and put a name in.
Yeah.
With broad serve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to fill, the animal control and code enforcement officer with the candidate Rod Sir. Penny?
Yes.
Tim?
No.
I vote yes. Elaine?
Yes.
Motion carried. Town managers report. Anything you guys want, anything you want to add, I should ask you?
No, I have those little things about that I write about CDOT and.
Okay, all right. Does the board have any questions for Ms. Jessica? Did you say
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have much of a voice.
Did you happen to get a call back from, the fire chief regarding burning the brush
Oh,
pile?
yeah.
Not yet, he's going to talk with the fire board, and then they'll be in touch with us.
Okay.
And is it still open? I
It
mean,
is,
Okay, I
if
heard
you-
somebody was people were dropping stuff
And we
off.
can close it temporarily to keep from adding until we talk with the fire.
Do you know, I heard that there were a bunch of pallets up there, is that true? Somebody dropped off a bunch of pallets?
I haven't been brought aware as of recently, the last thing I knew was the couches. And so we got rid of those,
Yeah,
but,
I heard about the
but I
couches.
will find out about pallets.
I guess if those things are continuing to show up, there might need to be a closure.
Well done about setting the date.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be bad too.
So the couches dropped off?
You live on that street.
I do.
You can monitor it a little heavier.
You know I have, and I have someone that lives with me that's a heavy monitor. In fact, he's a chaser downer with him and Shelley. I had to tell him to quit.
We'll put that on her to-do list.
Yeah.
We did track
Question.
down.
Did you
On that,
track down to do it? Okay.
Go ahead, John.
what's the possibility of putting like a game trail camera out there or something like that to monitor that?
We've had him before, and it does help sometimes, but yeah. Unless somebody decides to
They
vandalize it.
Taken, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Armored box on the entryway,
security is kind of going to be on
so.
the radar for us here pretty soon.
Oh yeah, but you just take over that, you're better off just putting the camera off to the side where it can't be, I mean, it's not hard to hide a game camera, it really isn't, so. I don't know why they're,
There's no trees around there.
Yeah,
They're a ways away.
They had one, so when you go into the brush dump, there's that little rise on the right, and it was up there in a tree. But what you could see on it was really fuzzy. You couldn't see faces really well or anything. You could see the vehicles really well.
License plates were a little tricky on that one too. It may need to be a better camera, I don't
yeah,
know.
that doesn't sound like a very good camera.
I don't really remember what it was. So.
have you seen the game cameras that actually can feed back, right back to your,
The
to
stream,
your,
It's
To your
getting
phone?
internet.
Yes.
It's getting internet up there. I think also we talked about that a few years ago. Having internet availability, wouldn't you have to have that?
You can do cell,
yeah, you can get
Yeah.
cell ones.
Yeah.
Ours are cell.
they're 4G or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one that goes up.
I just found out about those.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And then
don't let the
like,
cat out of the bag. You know it's being live streamed for.
we can't discuss where
Okay,
we're
we
gonna
need
hide the
to-
camera at.
Right after that part of the video.
Well, the best
No one
deterrent,
knows.
the best deterrent is for them to hear this and know it's gonna be monitored, and maybe they'll stop, because if they get caught, then they'll be fined.
What's the fine of that? Do you guys have a fine set up?
Usually we just ask them to come clean it up, and if they don't, then we
All
bill
the
them what we haul to the dump, if we can figure out who they are.
And we have called deputies before when it's been a serious problem. And we've also had to have it closed before. We've had to have, limited hours, which is just a pain for those that are using it the way it's meant to be. Kind of just takes away.
Most people are very respectful of it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, somebody took up a huge load of branches. It's, yeah.
There's just, it's
It-
full.
it's-
It's
yeah.
so full, it should have been burned a long time ago. Okay. Nothing else, Miss Jessica, or for Jessica?
Yeah, the Third Avenue raw water line thing.
Third Avenue water line thing.
Tell me what that's about.
That's just like,
This,
that's all the information I had, yeah.
Same thing as we
Yeah.
talked about.
Oh, raw water lines will need to be slipped, oh, that's what that is supposed to be?
I forgot to finish the sentence.
Oh, I thought suddenly we had raw water lines we needed to be, on Third Avenue that we had to start slipping, I'm going,
But just to clarify, on that Third Street, we're gonna start with a meeting with, and you can kind of get a point.
yes, I
Okay.
think so. Make sure you have all the players there for that. Yeah. All right. If there's not anything else, we do have an executive session. And it is mentioned on there, and I just flew through it. The statute. Thank you.